Hi guys, this is Kenya. Welcome back to Kenya's Decor Corner. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you will go ahead and click the subscribe button and also be sure to hit the notification bell so you won't miss any videos that I upload. Now today guys, I'm so super excited because I am participating in a tag, and I haven't done a tag in a long time. And so I thought I'd go ahead and participate. I did see my beautiful YouTube sister, Liz, with Jazzy Green Decor Style. She just recently changed her name from Home Decorating with Liz to Jazzy Green Decor Style. So she did this tag, and she did another tag around Valentine's Day and tagged me, and unfortunately I wasn't able to participate. So I thought, you know what, this is the perfect one. I'm gonna carve out time to participate in this mom tag. I'm definitely a mom, so I thought this would be a lot of fun. And also, Liz did mention that the tag was started by another creator with her channel name as This Housewife. So I will have the link to both of their channels linked in my description box down below if you want to check out their videos and see how they answered these mom questions. So there are 15 questions. I think here I haven't written down. Yep, 15 questions. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right into this. First, before I do that, let me say, you guys probably noticed my decor, my attire. It is Black History Month, so I'm representing for Black History Month. We did have a program at our church this morning, and so I came home and was like, before I change clothes, I will go ahead and do this video. And so that's why you guys get to see me all dressed up in my African attire. So this is something that's a little bit non-traditional African attire, I guess, which is different than what I normally do. But yeah, so did something a little different this time. So that's my look. That's why you guys see me looking a little different than usual. So representing for Black History Month. Okay, so question number one is favorite mom hack. So for me, what I like to do as it relates to a mom hack is when I'm trying to get my son to eat vegetables, which sometimes, you know, 5-year-olds don't really care to have veggies. Although my oldest son, when he was a kid, he loved eating broccoli, green beans, collard greens. Like, he was really big on veggies, but Addison, on the other hand, not so much. So in order to trick him to eat veggies, my mom hack is, what I like to do is use squash spirals in my spaghetti, and then I'll also use like ground turkey instead of ground beef. So I am able to sneak in like a healthy spaghetti meal for him that's like faux spaghetti, because we're using ground beef. I use fresh tomatoes and bell peppers and onions, and then of course I use some tomato sauce also for the spaghetti, but I add in those veggies in the spaghetti, and I use the squash spirals as the pasta. So instead of using regular spaghetti, I use the squash pasta. Now, not the zucchini. The zucchini are the green ones. I don't really care for those myself because when they cook, they get kind of mushy to me. So when you use the yellow squash, they stay firm. And so they're like perfectly al dente when you're eating with your spaghetti. So he loves it, loves it. He loves it, and it's very tasty. So it's a great way to sneak in veggies for your kids that may not like to eat them otherwise. So I think that's like a really good mom hack for parents who have a hard time with picky eaters. Number two is your most embarrassing mom moment. So I'll have to think of, first of all, let me say Addison is like a little ham. He's such a character, so he's always saying something, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe he just said that. But most recently we were in the grocery store, and the cashier was checking us out, and she commented on how cute he is, and so she complimented him, and he said, thank you. What's that on your head? The lady had like a large mole on her head, and so I was embarrassed. I was like, Addison, like, don't say that. Like, why did you say that? And then he's like, what? So it was really embarrassing for me, and she was like, oh, it's okay. But I just thought, oh my goodness, like, you can't say everything all the time. Like, some things you just don't say. But he didn't understand that that was being rude, but obviously it was like inappropriate, I should say. And then for my oldest son, once, and I guess this was kind of embarrassing, but it was no one else around. My son and I were on our way to church, and I was drinking water, and I was going around the curve on the freeway to head on out to church. And as I was drinking the water and turning, I spilled the water all over my dress. And my oldest son, at the time, he was about Addison's age, about 5 years old. And I said, "Oh man, I spilled water all over my dress." So I'm like brushing it off, and he goes, "Mom, that's why you shouldn't drink and drive." I thought, okay, you're absolutely right. Although they're talking about drinking something else, not water, but you're right. I should not be distracted while I'm driving. So that was kind of a cute, embarrassing, but not too embarrassing because other people weren't around, but like valid point that he made. So that's how my kids are. They make comments like that. You're like, okay. So number 3 is, what part of the day do you like the most? For me, the part of the day I like the most is the golden time of the day, like in the afternoon when the sun is going down, but before it's dark. But it's not the heat of the day anymore. So maybe around 5 o'clock in the summer times, when it's like from 5 to 7 o'clock, that's the perfect time of the day to me. It's breezy, even if it's warm, it still kind of has this really, it just feels amazing to me. I can't even describe it. It's like the perfect weather. Even if the temperatures were like in the high 90s or 100 degrees, at 5 o'clock, there's like, I love sitting out on the back porch with a glass of iced tea or lemonade and just feel the breeze blowing. It's beautiful to me. That is the most beautiful time of the day. That's my favorite. I call it the golden time of the day, like Frankie Beverly and Maze. And then it says, what is the part of the day that you like the least? And I'll have to say early mornings. I'm not much of an early riser. I am praying that I will be more of an early riser, because I do find that when I get up early in the morning and get my day started right away, then I'm more productive and I have time to get a lot more things done. But if I could sleep till 9, maybe 10 o'clock, then I definitely will. And on the occasion where my husband, if on the weekend or something, he's at home and he'll get Addison for me, then I can easily sleep to 10 o'clock. So I am not a morning person, but I want to be more so. Alrighty, so number 5 is the worst thing someone said to you when you were pregnant. So this is funny. I didn't think it was that bad, but the other people around me did, and I thought, oh, okay, maybe that was a little bit rude. But I was at work, and one of the doctors walked around the corner, and I was walking this way with some of my coworkers, and we almost ran into each other when he came around the corner. And so, of course we were like, oh, sorry, excuse me. And then he goes, oh my goodness, you look like you're about to pop. And I thought, you know what? I feel like I'm about to pop. But my coworkers was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that to her. And I was like, you know what? I'm not upset, because he's absolutely right. I was like 9 months pregnant, and I was huge. I was. So I was not even mad at him saying that. And this was with Addison. With my oldest son, I didn't get very big at all. But with Addison, man, I tell you, I was out there. And I was just like, I wasn't mad at him for saying it, because I was huge. But my coworkers took offense more than I did. So I guess that's probably the worst thing anybody said to me. Otherwise, no one really said anything that I thought was rude or out of the way. Number 6, baby name that you didn't agree on. So for my oldest son, his name is Caleb, and his dad wanted to name him after his best friend, whose name was Simeon. And I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, Simeon is a cool guy. I like him a lot, but I don't want to name our son Simeon. And so we compromised. And so Simeon's middle name is Tremaine. And so we named my oldest son, his middle name is the same as his godfather. So yeah, so his Caleb Tremaine instead of Simeon. I was like, no, sorry. I can't. No, it's a nice name for him, but I just couldn't imagine calling my son Simeon. Not even for a middle name, because it's like a strong first name. It's not really a middle name. So we went with his middle name for my son's middle name, and everybody's happy. So we didn't agree at first, but we finally did come to a compromise on that. Number 7, did you or do you co-sleep? So unfortunately, the answer to that is yes and yes. So when Addison was a baby, you know, I was nursing him, and well, first with my oldest son, no, we didn't. He slept in his own bed the entire time. He was in a bassinet next to our bed while he was little. As he got bigger, then he slept in his own bed in his own room. Everything was fine. With Addison, on the other hand, he did start. I was nursing him. My oldest son, I wasn't able to nurse him. But with Addison, I was nursing him, and so you know how it goes. Those nights in the middle of the night when you're exhausted and he's wanting to nurse, then I would sit in a rocking chair and nurse him. But then it became, my husband actually was the one who suggested that I just lay in the bed and nurse him. And that was the start of the downfall, basically. So we have been unable to get him out of our bed ever since, to sum it up. He on a time or occasions, we were able to get him out of our room and out of our bed for a while. So let me say, he is out of our bed now. Maybe when he turned 3, he stopped sleeping in our bed, but he sleeps in his toddler bed at the foot of our bed. So he's still in our room. And every now and again, he'll climb out of his bed into our bed. So, yeah. So, but it started out as being a convenient way to nurse, and then it turned into a habit for him. And it took us 3 years to get him out of our bed. And now at 5, he's still in our bedroom. And he's got to go. We told him when he turns 6, he's going to have to start sleeping upstairs in his own bedroom. And actually, he did last night. So, yay to Addison. Okay, number 8. Something you bought and never used. Well, I mean, so many things. Like, I buy stuff all the time, which is why you guys haven't seen too many haul videos on my channel, because I was like, I need to slow down because I'm buying all this pretty stuff, beautiful stuff, and then don't always use it, or maybe use it once or twice and then give it away or put it away or whatever. But something in particular as it relates to being a mom that I did buy that I've never used and is on my list to use is a wok. I bought a wok when we first bought our house because I bought all these kitchen gadgets. I was like, I want everything because I'm going to be cooking up a storm. Yeah, well, no, not really. I cook occasionally. You guys know I have Cooking with Kenya, so I do cook on occasion, but not like every single day. And I have yet to use my wok, so that is on my list of things to use. Number 9, 3 hospital must-haves for a mom. So for me, I'm going to say, if you're going to nurse, which I think that every mother should at least try. So you should bring a nursing bra if you know for sure that you're going to nurse, because it just makes it more convenient and you kind of learn how to nurse your baby while you have your nursing bra on. So I think that's just, and you make sure it fits right, just everything. So I'm going to say a nursing bra must-haves when you go to the hospital. 3 hospital must-haves. I put a nursing bra. You need to bring your own body wash. Like for me, I brought not just my nursing bra, but also like a shirt that I wanted to learn how to nurse with or whatever. But also bring some body wash, like something that smells pretty. Like I like Bath and Body Works, like we all do as ladies, right? So bring Bath and Body Works with you. Of course, the hospital is going to provide you with something, but you want something to make you smell pretty, just to make you feel good after just having your baby. And then bring really pretty pajamas, because for me at our hospital, after I had my son, they came with a professional photographer, came to the room to take baby pictures, and they did pictures of us holding the baby. And so I wanted to make sure that I had on really pretty pajamas so that the pictures would look nice. Now, one thing I did forget that Liz did mention that she did not forget for hers was my makeup. I forgot to bring my makeup to the hospital, so I would say pack your makeup also if that's important to you. So in the pictures, I didn't have on any makeup, which was okay. It was totally fine, but I would have at least liked to have a little lip gloss or something. But it didn't matter because I had beautiful pajamas on. So those are the things that I would say make sure you have packed in your bag before you get to the hospital. Number 10, it says, are you a routine mom or do you go with the flow? And then the second half of the question is, what does bedtime look like? So I'm a routine mom. Like, I think that children need structure, and so I like to provide that. So we have structure in our home. Addison has a bedtime. He has a time that he takes his bath. which is 30 minutes before bedtime. We have dinner time, which is 30 minutes before bath time. So yes, around 6 o'clock, we start with our nighttime routine. So that usually about 5:30, but 6 o'clock, so that Addison's bedtime is at 7. So 6, we have dinner. He has his bath at 6:30. He's in the bed at 7. Now, if we're going to do some extra activity, or like he's going to play, a lot of times I'll give him a bath and I'll let him play some in the bathtub before he has to get out, and we might read a book at that time while he's kind of splashing around or whatever. But if there's a special book or something that he wants to read, then I'll push the time up by 15 or 30 minutes so that we can have time for him to do his activity before it's time to go to bed. So on the weekends, we're a little more lax with that because a lot of times my stepkids are here, and so if they come over, then of course Addison wants to stay up longer with them, or if we have my niece sleep over like we did this past weekend, then I let them stay up till 8. But usually bedtime is not past 8 o'clock unless we're out, and then when we get home, it's like rush, 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 because we got things to do and it's time to go to bed because you're going to need to be up in the morning. So I like to have routines. I think it works out best for everyone because we all know what we're supposed to be doing and when it's time to do it. So it works out for Addison. Again, sometimes we fall off a little bit, but if I notice a day or two that we weren't on our routine schedule, like if our times are pushed back a little bit just for whatever reasons, then I make sure that we make it up on the next days and I'd be really strict about it so we can make sure that Addison's getting his sleep, because I think it is important for children to get an ample amount of sleep in order for them to be ready to learn when they get to school. Okay, so that's my soapbox on having a routine. I think it is very important. So that's what bedtime looks like for us too. It's like time, good night, you know. So here lately, he's been wanting me to rock him to sleep too. So I'm like, okay, that means I'm gonna have to push your time up a little bit because he wants to chat for a little bit. So we'll read the book, he chat for a little bit, and then I'll rock him to sleep, which that's another something we gotta get out of, that habit, because, you know, I want him to be able to just lay in his bed and go to sleep. And he can, it's just that sometimes he wants me to rock him. Anyway, that is our routine. Okay, number 11. What type of labor did you have and what kind of pain relief did you use? For my oldest son, I had a natural delivery. I didn't have any drugs, nothing. I just showed up and he came out. Pretty much. It was like, yeah. I had him during an ice storm, and so it was really cold. It was ice everywhere here, which in Texas that doesn't happen very often. In South Texas it doesn't happen very often. And so I waited till like the last minute to try to get out and go because the weather was so bad and the roads were all shut, and actually my doctor's office was closed, so we just had to go straight to the hospital. And a good thing, so I had been having contractions and I was timing them, but when I got there they were like, okay, you're ready. So yeah, probably maybe a couple of hours after I arrived, he was delivered. So nothing for my oldest son. Now for Addison, on the other hand, my water broke. I went to work that day. My oldest son was 10 days late. Addison was 10 days early. So I went to work on a Friday, left work a little bit early, maybe about an hour early because I wasn't feeling that great. And I was like, okay, see you guys on Monday. So I drove all the way home to get out the truck and my water broke. And so then I had to go in the house, like get cleaned up. And then my husband and I drove back to the hospital. So, and then from there, it was like downhill because it was like 6 o'clock in the evening by the time we got there. I had only eaten lunch and I didn't eat that much because I wasn't feeling that great. So then all night, so 28 hours later, Addison was delivered. So needless to say, I had to have some pain relief. So I did have an epidural, which I hated because it made me completely numb, like from my legs down. And he wasn't ready to be delivered yet. So it was like I couldn't turn over without anybody helping me. I just felt restless. You know, like you feel like you're trying to move your legs, but nothing's happening. It's just not a fun feeling. So that, yeah. The natural way was better for me as opposed to having the epidural, but I did have the epidural. It did help with the pain, but there was also some level of discomfort associated with it also. So, you know, it's kind of like give or take. Which one would you want? So that's that. Number 12, have you ever been mom shamed? And I have to say no. Guys, look, y'all don't know me like this, but I'm like a mama bear. I am the mama bear. So no, don't come for me. No, not when it comes to my kids. So no, I am not mom shamed. There's nothing nobody can do to make me be shamed of being a mom, especially the mom to my kids. So like when Caleb was little, I was the team mom of his Little League football. Then when he started playing at the school, I was the team mom for the team. So I like decorated their lockers. I made them goodie bags. I was there at the sign with my whistle and like my hand clapper things, cheering them on. Like, no, yeah. No, never been mom shamed. And if someone was trying to shame me, then they got shut down. So no, not for me. Not me. I'm not that person that could be easily shamed about being a mom. So nope, never. Number 13, your biggest challenge you ever faced being a mom. So I have to say, being a mom is hard. Like, it is. Being a parent is difficult. You know, it is, but we're stewards. The Lord gave us children to be stewards over them, to raise them up in the right way. And so when you want to do that, when you want to raise your children up to follow the Lord, then there are some, struggles to go along with that. But I can say through His grace and mercy, I was able to, with my oldest son, I was a single mother for a while until I met my husband. And so I was just blessed to be able to raise a young man who is a productive member of society, who's not a statistic. So I'm just thankful, so thankful about that. But for me, the biggest challenge that I could say is being a single mom was obviously a challenge, but also for me, the hardest thing that I did as a mother was taking my son off to school. When I took him off to college, first of all, his senior year was very emotional for me. It was exciting for him. It was emotional for me because, like I said, for a while there, for many years, I was a single mom, so it was just me and him. And then to, have him grow up, and he's doing all these big things and got a scholarship off to school, and we're taking him off. And just knowing that he was going to be leaving, like, my heart was breaking throughout his senior year, right? But I was trying to stay cool and hold it together. But once we got him to school, we drove cross country to take him to school. And once it was time to leave, like, all of those emotions throughout the whole senior year just came flooding out at once. And so I held it together for as long as I was in front of him. But as soon as we got in the car to drive away, like, I cried for hours. Like, literally, like, I'd stop and then start back again and stop and start back. It was just so emotional for me to say goodbye to my child, to take him to a place that we had never been before, and to leave him there knowing that he didn't know anybody there. It was just hard. That was the hardest thing for me to do. But it was the best thing I could have done for him because, that's life experience for him, to be away from home and experience, college and life on his own. So it's definitely no regrets. But for me, that was the hardest thing that you can do as a mother, is to take your child away and leave them somewhere. So that was difficult for me. That was really difficult, but glad I did. So yes. Let me see here. Number 14, the best advice you were ever given. The best advice I was ever given was, let me see here. Oh, I was looking at what my answer was, because that's another thing I'm going to share too. But someone told me, just let kids be kids and give them room to grow. Like, sometimes as parents, you expect your children to be little adults. And they're not. They're children. They're just learning. They're exploring. They're adventurous. They're curious. And so we should just let kids be kids. Now, not unruly, but still just be kids. Just give them the space to learn and discover and, do what children need to do. Don't expect them to be under their best behavior all the time. Now, I do believe if you have structure and you have rules and guidelines and your children need to function within, then that's totally okay, because they need to know, how to be safe. You don't want them to just be wild and run around and do something to harm themselves or put themselves in harm's way without them even knowing. So there definitely needs to be some parameters, but still within that, give them room to just be kids. That's what I would say. And then another thing, I remember my mom said to me when I was going through all that with my son going off to college, she was like, when they're little, they're on your lap. When they're adults, they're on your heart. So they still are your children either way. Just know that. So when you're raising them up, they're your little ones, they're your babies. But as they become adults, they're still on your heart. So they're still your baby, even though they're an adult. So that's something that I would say to remember. And then it says, the other half to that is, what is the advice that I would give a new mom? So the same thing, just give them room to grow. And then that's as children and as adults. That's what I had to do with my oldest son. You know, we give them room to grow as kids so they can, you know, experience life. But once they become teenagers and young adults and they're ready to go out into the world on their own, we need to, again, give them the room to be able to do that, to become the person that the Lord has for them to be, not for who we want them to be. And I had to learn that, guys. I'm being really real and honest with you. So, yeah, that's what I would say, advice for a mom. That's what I would give. And number 15, it says, who is your mom crush? Now, with this question, when I heard Liz answering the question, she said immediately I thought Felicia Rashad from the Cosby Show, and she said that, and I was like, oh, that's my mom crush. And actually, guys, you'll be amazed at how many times people tell me when I'm out in the stores or out and about or whatever, they say, you look just like Felicia Rashad. At Addison's daycare, at his school, people tell me that all the time. Like at least 2 or 3 times a month, someone tells me I look like Felicia Rashad. And I'm surprised. I don't really think so. But even my husband said I can see that, especially apparently like some of my mannerisms and also how I hold my mouth. He said sometimes I just really look like her. So I'm gonna say Felicia Rashad. Mrs. Claire Huxtable from the Cosby Show is my mom crush. Growing up, you know, I thought that was just a perfect family, like we all did, right? But now, a new show that I like, it's not new, but a show that's newer than the Cosby Show is Blackish. And so, Rainbow Johnson, which is, oh shoot, I just forgotten her name. But her name is Rainbow Johnson on the show. She's my current day mom crush. She's like the current day Claire Huxtable. She's a physician, and she's like running her household, you know, doing her thing in the workplace, and also taking care of her family at home. And so they're a successful family, her, Rainbow Johnson, with her husband, who is Anthony Anderson. That's his real name. So what is her name? Diana Ross's daughter. Leave me comments down below if you remember her name. I cannot remember her real name, but her name on the show is Rainbow Johnson. They call her both. She is my mom crush. My TV mom crush. She's dressed impeccable. Her outfits are slayed every episode, even though it's kind of sometimes it's a little bit weird, a little bit out there, a little different, a little eclectic, I guess, but it's still fly. Like, you know, she's like rocking it for us mothers over 40 that's got kids for all age ranges from I think her oldest is like 20, a college student, and then they have a little toddler also. That's our family. We got a 23-year-old and a 5-year-old. So like everywhere in between, we got kids there. So yeah, she's my mom crush. If you guys haven't seen that show, this is a plug for them. Not that, you know, this is not sponsored or anything, but I love that show. You guys should go check it out. Alrighty guys, so those are all the questions. Those are all of my answers. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. Again, leave me a comment down below to tell me what is her name. Diana Ross's daughter. She used to be on the show Girlfriends. I almost had it. I hate it when I can't think of something. Leave me a comment down below and let me know her name. Also, if you are a mom, I'm tagging you. I'd like for you to answer these questions. I'd love to hear your answers. I'm not going to tag anyone in particular because like we're all moms out here, so anybody who wants to participate, feel free. I will have the questions listed in my description box below for you to check that out. Again, if you are new here, welcome. I hope that you have enjoyed this video enough to go ahead and click the subscribe button. Also, be sure to hit the notification bell so that you won't miss any videos. If you love all things home decor, you are in the right place. I love, love, love home decor, and I love to decorate my home on a reasonable budget. So if you're interested in that, then check out any of my playlists that are linked in the description box below for ideas and inspiration on how to decorate your home seasonally. For my faithful family members, mwah, mwah, mwah. You guys know I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you so very much. And I look forward to seeing all of you on the next video. Much love and many blessings. Bye-bye. Oh, I just remember her name, Tracy Ellis Ross. Yes, Tracy Ellis Ross. I love her. All righty, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.